Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 6. This is round number 11, and we are here under the floodlights at the Marina Bay Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. My name is Jess, and I will be your commentator for this evening. The Marina Bay Circuit arrived on the scene in 2008, the first night race in a long time, and it had its controversial moments, the Crashgate incident, which we do not want to talk about too much this evening. A street track with the city's famous skyline as a backdrop, and Herman Tilke designed this track along with many other tracks on the F1 calendar. So let's have a look at the track before we head to the qualifying session and we talk about the standings. So the track is 5.063 kilometers long with 23 turns, 14 to the left and 9 to the right, 2 DRS zones, 1 at the start finish straight and 1 between turn 5 and 7. It's one of the most physically demanding circuit on the calendar due to its bumpy street surface with also the humid conditions as well. They'll be working the wheel a lot too due to the fact that it's quite demanding for the drivers. Now, qualifying will be starting shortly, one-shot qualifying, but in the meantime, let's go through the championship standings because we do not have very long until the end of the season, so the drivers have got to be on their A game if they really want to get a good result here. So Mata is leading the championship with 190 points. He's been a leader of the championship for quite some time. Carl in second with 163. Third is Pete with 119. Fourth is Brandon with 95. Fifth is Red Matt with 79, joint with Ryan Berry actually, so joint fifth. We've got 8, which is Acorn with 57. 9th is M. Ryan with 49. 10th is Iceman with 48. The second half of the standings, 11th is Speed Risky with 48. 12th is Jamie with 45. 13th is Yuri with 39. 14th is Amin on 38. 15th is Glock, who won his first race for us last week in Monza, which was great to see. 16th is Tony with 29. Newgarden is 17th with 25. Nils is 18th on 22. And Kev is 19th on 20. 20th is Lee with 18, and Logan is in 21st with 10. So everyone has got points on the board for now. So we're looking at the team standings then. We've got Yellow in first place, 319. Second is Green with 286. We got Blue in third with 273. Fourth is Pink with 235. And fifth is Red with 162 points. So all to play for the final, well, pretty much final 6 rounds. We've got Singapore tonight, then we head to Monaco next week, then Canada, then Australia, then we got 2 Bahrain races on the trot at the end of the month. Bahrain for round 15 and then Bahrain short for the season finale. So, looking at the weather at this moment in time, it is night time, but please don't be too complacent really with the weather because it's known for rain. Most of the time I've commentated around here has rained either at the start, the middle or the end. There's some rarities that it's just dry for the whole race, but you know, rain is very, very common on this game. 4 drivers have shared victories at the Singapore Grand Prix, which were held in 2008. Sebastian Vettel won a few times, as well as Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Nico Rosberg. Those were the only 4 drivers to win in Singapore. Sebastian Vettel being the latest one to win a race there as well. And please bear in mind about the safety car as well. We'll go that just a little bit later on. So let's go on board with Brandon as he takes me on board a lap around the Singapore Grand Prix. Now, so this is a left, right, left salon, which takes a few attempts to get right. Use that inside curb heading towards turn 3 while going into second gear. Short shifting as well, and you'll see turn 4 as a small kick. You'll be now approaching turn 5. Really tricky right-hander, which lures you into thinking he can brake later than he actually can. Don't worry too much about turn 6. Get on the power very quickly. It's another kink and heading towards the boulevard, heading towards the Memorial corner of turn 7, which is the best overtaking spot on the track. Turn 8 follows quickly after 7, so swing back to the left quickly. Brake at 75 metres again. Down to second gear for Stanford, and then right for Padang of turn 9. Heading towards turn 10 in a second, the old Singapore Slim, named after a city-state's favourite cocktail, apparently. Get on the power quickly here, heading towards turn 12. Quite common to lose it here through this bridge, but it is quite interesting now. So you're heading towards turn 14 of Connaught. You've got to get a good run on this straight there as you head towards that. Turn 15 was effectively a kink, really, to be honest, but its proximity to the braking zone in turn 16 made it a little bit awkward. As you head towards turn 17, heading towards turn 18, now running the left front over the inside curbing. Singapore tunnel chicane, now one of the tightest points on this track. Don't try to pass whatever you do. Brake before shifting once again in turn 20, lets you carry the most speed in turn 21. You don't need to brake here these days. Only lift is required through turn 22 and 23. And what is his lap time? It is a 1:35.891. And I didn't see who was pole position, but I will double check for you in a second. So Red Mat's on pole position, but look at the gap between first and second. 0.11 of a second. 0.011 of a second, which is insane. So well done to those guys. One of the only free drivers to get into the 134s. Iceman in third with a 1:34.9. Carl in fourth, though he got risky in fifth position. Pete in sixth. Brandon in seventh. Kev in eighth. Lee in ninth. Ryan Berry in 10th. Now we got people outside the top 10 now, be on free choice of tyres, and with the mixture of tyres used for today's session, I'm almost certain it's going to be a dry start. So we've got Yuri, Akon, Newgarden, M. Ryan, Niels, Tony, Glock and Gavin, with 3 drivers from Tony downwards. Did not set a lap time, unfortunately. They have invalidated. So, without further ado, let's get on to the race. 31 laps await our drivers tonight. Now, you won't be able to see it at the moment, but it is a dry start to the race at least, which is good news. So, Glock, Matta and Carl, due to the fact that they finished in the top 3 in Monza last week, they'll have to do the 2-stop this week. It is mandatory for them. And because Red Matt missed last week and he won in Belgium, he also has a pending 2-stop for the next race he attends. And it's this one, and he did quite well in qualifying, so this is especially what he needs as well. For him, at least, he'll be pitting quite early on to get the softs out of the way, I'm almost certain. Now, quite a mixture of strategies as well, because 1 stop I usually find quite difficult, so the 2-stop is not too bad. But you want to get the softs out of the way pretty quickly. I think the drivers are starting on the soft almost certainly will be doing soft to hards. Soft can last up to 9 laps, but the optimum pace, I would say, is around lap 5. The tyre temperatures are so difficult to manage. It just gets really hot very, very quickly. And issue with people pitting early from mediums to hards is the tyre temperatures as well. So you've got to get your pit stops right. The undercut we've seen work many a times around here as well. Now, this track has been quite difficult over the years as well. They've been complained about the bumpy service, potentially dangerous pit entry as well. The pit entry, I've got to say, is really, really difficult. I've noticed that when I was doing a league race last Friday around Singapore, which I was absolutely dreading, to be honest with you. But it's not as difficult as it was back in the early days. And the old Singapore sling in turn 10 was removed and was replaced with a simpler, faster left-hand turn. Do any of you miss the Singapore sling? To be honest, I do, because it was very, very iconic. And there was other changes to the layout as well of the track from turns 11 to 13 were made ahead of the race in 2015. Mainly to improve overtaking opportunities, which I can understand why they're doing it. And I think it's a lot better as well. So, you know, it is a physical challenge. And in real life, they'll be hot in the car as well. So, and they'll be in the race longer than these drivers tonight. Luckily, these drivers will be doing a 50% race. If it's a safety car, for example, we might see a race go up to an hour if there's like rain involved potentially as well. So we will have to wait and see. So just a quick reminder on the tyres. Softs can last 9 laps. Mediums can last 16 laps. And the hards can last 28 laps. The softs being the C5s. The mediums being the C4s and the hards being the C3s. The deltas are quite interesting as well. The mediums being 8 tenths slower than the softs, and the hards being a whopping 2.4 seconds slower than the softs. So the drivers are ready to go. They're on their formation laps right now. So I'm going to take you basically through the action right now. So here we go. Without further ado, let's look at the tyres. So we got quite a mixture, because obviously Pete qualified on the mediums. Not bad lap time from him on the mediums. I think that was what he was hoping, even though he could have gone a little bit faster, but we'll see. Ryan Berry as well inside the top 10 on the mediums. Everyone else on the softs. They'll have to start on the tyres they're qualifying on, but we're going to pay attention more to the ones that have got free tyre choice. And it's a bit of an interesting call for some of the drivers. Now, Yuri in P11 has gone for the soft tyres. Now, he's not doing a two-stop strategy, so I'm guessing he wants to remove the softs quickly and just stay on one tyre for the race, so he can maybe improve on track position potentially as well, but we'll see as the race goes on. Acorn is on the mediums in 12th. Newgarden is on the mediums. Ryan is on the hards. Niels is on the mediums. Tony is on the mediums as well as Glot, last week's race winner. He invalidated in the final corner, according to what he said in the Twitter chat, which must be very, very heartbreaking, because in one-shot qualifying, you literally only get one shot to get things right. And if you just mess up in the final corner, then that's it. So, for Glock's sake, he's going to hope that he does not get any penalties this race, because it's going to be key as well. It's not a big factor around this track, because not many races I've seen a lot of people get penalties, but I've seen some races in Singapore where penalties can decide a race. So, we'll see. And Gavin's on the medium. So, Ryan and Yuri going out of the norm in the top 10, outside the top 10, but everyone else on the mediums, which if I was outside the top 10, I think that's what I would have gone as well. Mediums is a lot faster as well, and you could go on the mediums for longer before you go onto the hard tyres. Starting on the hards is a bit meh, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. So like we said, 31 laps away our drivers, and some people may wonder what my predictions are going to be in this race, but usually I don't predict what goes on, because I'm usually end up jinxing people, which is not good. So I'm going to leave things there for now, as we're waiting for all the drivers to line up on the grid. Look at how the liveries are lined up in the Singapore night sky. It's just amazing, and some of the liveries stand out quite a lot as well. So I'm liking Kyle's livery as well, in the floodlights too, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, we are about to get started. 31 laps of action coming up. We got 3 lights, we got 4 lights, we got 5 red lights, and we are underway. Let's see what's going to happen on the start line. Red Matt has got a very good start, actually, heading towards turn 1. Matt has got a good start too, as they head towards turn 2 and turn 3. They'll be there before you know it, so you've got to make sure you nail those corners correctly. We've still got some people going side by side. Iceman having a good start as well. Kyle trying to defend from Pete around the inside into turn 5. Nicely done there. People are already using their overtake already then, as they head towards the king of turn 6, and now heading towards turn 7. It's going to be free wide potentially here as well, but Risky decides to back out and let his teammate do its thing. But Pete is up into 4th place, which is a great start for him so far. Started in 6th place, so already has made 2 positions. Acorn making his way up into 12th place, getting past Newgarden to no major incidents so far. All of them are relatively close to each other, but you never know. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it literally does. So we got people going side by side going on in the background as well. I didn't see who it was as well, but it's very, very, very tight as you head towards turn 14 now, and into the middle of the kick of turn 15 and in towards turn 16 now. Does these drivers all keeping closely enough in sync right now? As you can see, the soft runners are mostly at the front, apart from Lee, who's had a little bit of an off there, heading just past turn 13. So he must have binned it in turn 12 past the old Singapore sling, which is a bit of a shame for Lee. So he's got a lot of ground to make up. I won't be surprised if he pits. I think it might just be in a spin, so it doesn't look like he's got major damage anyway. Meanwhile, unfortunately, we're having a timing glitch at the moment. So it is not lap 3, it is lap 2. And DRS is not activated yet. And all we do know is Matt is still leading this race. He's one of those drivers who's doing the 2-stop strategy, don't forget. So he needs to pull away very, very quickly, which he is doing right now ahead of Matter, who I believe is also on the 2-stop strategy as well, I believe. Yes, he is, as well as Kyle. So it's crucial that those 3 get a good start, as well as Red Matt as well. So doing the right things at the right times. 3 people have gone into the pit ends. We got Lee, who has front wing damage, so it's probably minor than what I've seen, but he goes onto the hards. So it's Glock 2 who had damage, which we did not see. And Logan as well on the medium. So 2 on the hards, 1 on the medium compounded tires. Everybody else has got away scot-free without any damage whatsoever. So that is great to see. Now I'm watching Iceman right now in P3 as he head towards turn 14. I gotta say, he's using a lot of VRS very quickly. He's on almost 50%. Matter is the same. Red Matt, our race leader, is using the least right now. He's on 72%. So he's already controlling the pace and increasing the gap a little bit. And if you're in the front, you don't need to use that much EOS unless you see a threat behind you, which is very, very hard to overtake around there. So it is easy to save it if you're not the chasing car. Well, if you're not the one, if you're the one in front of the battle, then it's easy to save EOS. If you're the one on the attack, it's going to be very hard. Meanwhile, Iceman and Pete going to go to try to on the attack on the inside into turn 3 then. Carl right on the middle of this as well. Onto lap 3. Can Carl take advantage? Pete goes just past King into turn 4, into turn 5 now. Excellent stuff. Pete is up into P3. But look at this. Kyle has the DRS on Iceman then. Slingshots pass into turn 6. Heading towards turn 7 of Memorial Corner then. And then heading towards turn 8. Could Kyle try and sneak it up the inside of Pete? No, he cannot. Maybe Iceman could potentially have a second chance here too. But he's decided to stay out of it because he doesn't want to get involved in too many incidents here right now. You never know what strategy could throw at you as well, so you've got to really respond to your rivals, because if they pit in there on the same strategy as you, like for example, if you're P and Iceman potentially as well, because both of them are on the one-stop strategy, if one of your rivals pits, you've got to blink really and pit after them. But obviously with Red Matt and Matta and Carl on the 2-stop, they'll be pitting a lot earlier than you, so you don't really want to respond to them, because if you pit earlier for another set of tyres, it may just hinder your race a little bit. But I'm just looking at the tyre life as well regarding the laps then. So the hards can basically go until can go to the end of the race. I'm just trying to do my maths here. It goes from lap 3. So any point from now, they could go on to a set of hards if they want to. So the likes of Lee and Glott, they're going to hope for a safety car, because there's no way those tyres are going to get to the end. They may have to go onto a fresh set of softs. Newgarden must have had a little bit of an issue as well. Or you might want to go onto a set of hards until the end of the race for a strategic call. So we'll see as he comes into the pits right now. Matta is closing in on Red Matt, so I wonder if Red Matt is struggling on the tyre life. Red Matt has been saying in a chat earlier on today that he is a bit rusty on the game at the moment because he hasn't raced in a while due to either commitment or there's a few times where his internet was playing up as well. So, you know, he is starting to get into the swing of things right now. He's done the right thing in pole position. Neil's getting a 3-second time penalty. We've got 3 drivers who have had 3-second time penalties so far. I don't think we've had many for speeding in the pit lane, so which is good news as well. So I think we're seeing quite a few damage from some of the drivers as well. So I think for some of them, it's going to be damage limitation for these drivers. Now, Acorn is looking good behind Kev. Now, we're going to watch the crossover point now between the mediums and the softs. We're expecting the mediums to be a lot faster compared to the old softs around about now in between lap 4 and 5. I did say it at the beginning of the stream as well, so that is why Acorn is really starting to catch as well. Potentially Ryan Berry as well down in 11th spot, so watch out for the medium runners. And we could see, hopefully, maybe Pete as well, as someone's gone off. That is Iceman. I do not know what happened there. That is, I think, turn 20, end of turn 20 into turn 21. And he's got damage there, so he has to go into the pits. But I don't think it's going to harm his strategy too much, as he's going to surely go onto the hard. He's not on the 2-stop strategy anyway, so he's not going to lose that chunk of time. But I'm just wondering if he's had a battle with someone. Pete's lost a bit of time to Matter, but I don't know. But maybe he just got a bit of lucky, lost a bit of traction on the exit, and that's what made him spin. But I don't know. I only caught the aftermath of that, so I can't really judge and tell you who's at fault, because it may just be Iceman spinning on his own there, for all we know, which I think it probably was. But shame we can't have any replays on this game, as we're on lap 5 already. No VSCs or safety cars yet, which is, for me personally, a bit of a surprise, to say the least. I thought we would have got a safety car by now, but it just goes to show that these drivers are in for the long haul. They know how many laps they've got remaining as well, and they don't want to bottle it and bottle all their hard work that they've been practicing so hard on. And sometimes you're good at a track as well, you are expected to do well. So Pete's caught up again to the soft pack on Matter and Red Matt, so 2.1 seconds. So Red Matt, the first of the 2 stop runners, then into the pit lane, and he got a 5-second penalty as well. He just sped in the pit lane there as well, which was a bit sad to say the least. But what I've noticed on this game as well, and I was watching another Singapore stream earlier on this week, and I've noticed that if you have the speed at kph instead of mph is a little bit more accurate as well in terms of the pit entry, whereas at miles per hour, even if you like hit like 60 in some tracks in the speed limit, I'm not quite sure what the speed limit is around Singapore. I'll need to double check that, but you know, it is but more accurate to have it at kph, which is what some people do. But anyway, so Renmar's pitted, Carl's pitted as well, took advantage. Brandon has gone out of the pits as well. Yuri, Kev, they've gone for mediums though, not hards. Iceman's gone for mediums as well. So, because I don't ask the drivers about the weather, because I want to keep it a surprise to you. I wanted to keep it a surprise to the drivers. No, not the drivers. I wanted to give a surprise for me, sorry. But there we go. But the way that they're pitting, I only do the 2-stop, because usually if it's a soft to hard strategy, if they then pit on the mediums after they've gone for the soft, unless they're on a 2-stop, it signifies a bet in my head, basically. I'm trying to think of a different way of saying it, but I think we could see some rain at the end of this race, because no one has opted for the hards apart from you, Gordon and Lee and Emryan. So, because normally in a 1-stop race you would go straight onto the hards, unless everyone wants to do a 2-stop. We don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this back on a later date. Don't you dare skip if you are watching this back at a later date. Just you want to watch this action as Niels goes into the pit lane, and he is going on to, is it going to be, oh, Niels has got front wing damage. That's not what he wants. He's onto the hards as well. So mixture of strategies, mixture of tyres being used as well. Matter is staying a bit longer on those softs. Now, he's on the 2-stop. I thought he would have pitted exactly the same time as the likes of Red Matt and maybe Kyle, but he's not. And we know how the undercut is powerful. The overcut is definitely not. If you pit a lap later, maybe you could stand a chance of getting a potential position, but I don't think the undercut works. The overcut works, sorry. So Matt's going to find it difficult. And you can already see Pete catching in a rate of knots right now. 1.3 seconds is the gap. They're running away with it at the moment. Acorn, 12.4 seconds is the gap between them and the top 2. As Red Matt is having a battle with Emryan. Emryan's actually surprisingly fighting as well for position. Don't forget. Oh, it's a bit of contact there as they head towards turn 14. My oh my, that was a pretty close call there from both of them. But Red Matt came out on top there. If you're on a different strategy, like if you're on fresher tyres, ideally you want other people to move out of the way, because traffic could cost you a little bit here as Matter goes in into the pit lane for his first of 2 stops. He goes onto the medium tyres. So for him, if it's a dry race, it's going to be a soft, medium strategy. I did see one person do soft, medium, soft, but it did not work because, again, the softs overheat very quickly in Singapore. And with your first set of mediums, you can't really take it that long either. Now, I thought I saw some spray for a moment there, but it must have just been me imagining things. I think it's just the light. I think playing habit to me at the moment. So I'm not going to tell you the positions gained at the moment because there's still people to make their first stop. And taking advantage is Gavin and Newgard, and Gavin's in the pits again. Gavin's race has gone from bad to worse right now as he goes on to softs. He's going to be running out of tyres at this rate. So I wonder, he just definitely have to pit again in a few laps time as well. So maybe he's seeing something that we're not. He's going to be lapped soon, I think, as well. Lee, I think for him is damage limitation, but at least he's keeping his car on the road, which is great to see. They're not giving up. Still 18 drivers in this race, with Pete leading so far. But your net race leader out of the ones that pitted is Red Matt. And the net race lead out of the one stoppers is Brandon, believe it or not. But I believe Brandon will have to stop one more time as well. So same with Yuri, same with Kev and Risky, because the mediums just can't make it to the end there. With Niels, if there's no rain, his Haas could get it to the end of this race. Iceman, he wants to undo the mistakes he's made earlier, but can he do it heading past turn 14 potentially? Now heading towards the middle of 15 and 16 and clipping that right curb there. As Niels had a bit of a slide there. That's giving Iceman a bit of advantage there. Heading towards the tunnel of 19. 18 and 19. Heading towards 20 now. Iceman is getting closer and closer. I think he's going to get him in DRS anyway. Could Iceman go to the outside? Maybe not, but he could get the inside in this corner and heading towards turn 1. Iceman's running out of VRS. Niels trying to break the slipstream there as well. Heading towards turn 2 and 3. Both of these drivers are keeping it in sync right now, as we're seeing more time penalties. So not where you want to be right now, but they want to be sure they can last until the end of the race. Here we go, past turn 6, heading towards turn 7. Iceman staying behind, but now he may take the shortest run to the line here. He may go to the inside of turn 8, which he does not. Nice to have these two having a little bit of a battle, which is what I like to see from the guys at VSL. Can Iceman have another look again, heading towards turn 10 into the old Singapore sling? Maybe not 11 and into 12. This is very, very tight and distinct corners here. And the heavy braking zone of turn 13 as Iceman may have hit Niels a little bit there, but I think both of them has got away with it. It's hard to see if they got damage or not, but the only way to find out is make sure you stay tuned in to the rest of this race, because like I said earlier, you never know what us as they head towards 18 and 19. It's nice that we are actually following this battle. Is really great to see, and that they're tightly compact as well. And you can see how the tyres are really starting to overheat as well, which is not early stages of the race. And don't forget, if you are liking this stream so far, don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you know when to watch our races. And also follow us on Twitter as well at VSL_F1. And I've been on lap 10 already. Pete's still leading, still yet to make his one and only stop. Same with Acorn as well. I wonder if Pete and Acorn will be pitting the same time as Red Matt for his second stop. We will have to wait and see as the session goes on. I'm going to be checking the chat as well to see if there's anything else going on. Doesn't look like it so far. But right now you can see Red Matt's pure pace advantage compared to the likes of Acorn, who's been on those tyres for 10 laps already. As Acorn defends that very well heading into turn 1. And I wonder if he's holding him up on purpose. I don't have a clue, but they are on a similar. They are going to be picking a similar time, so it is okay to hold the drive behind up. But I think Red Matt must be getting very, very annoyed being stuck behind someone with older tyres. And so past turn 6, excuse me, heading towards turn 7. And Red Matt nailed that overtake. I think Acorn didn't want to hold up Red Matt any longer, so Red Matt's up to second place. Tony is in 4th position. Doing very well so far on those meetings, but he's not in a net 4th position as he's still yet to make his stop. Meanwhile, Glot and Kev going side by side. Glot up into 10th place. Kev down to 11th as they made it. Glot made that move into Memorial Corner of turn 7. Past turn 8 now, and Kev has definitely dropped back a little bit of pace right now so far. So we're looking at fastest laps actually. The fastest lap currently is set by Mata with a 1:39.307. So don't forget, the fastest lap out of anyone in this field today. All 18 drivers will have a chance of getting 2 extra points if they get the fastest lap of the race. So far, those 2 extra points will be going to Mata, which can come crucial come towards the end of the championship, because Mata is leading. He is the reigning champion from last season, and he's looking to defend that title. He's looking to be the favourite so far. Unfortunately, didn't get the undercut right on Red Matt after staying out for a bit longer, so I think he's probably regretted not pitting to a similar time to what Red Matt was going to do. So the gap now is around about, I would say, 3 seconds. Actually, 5 seconds actually from Red Matt to Mata. So the two Mattas battling each other. So we're looking at Mata's ERS right now. He's on 27%. I think he wants to get in some clear air very quickly so he can save his ERS. Yuri has got a 3-second time penalty, so more penalties starting to crop up now. I think because a lot of drivers are pushing a lot more as well on these, on most of them fresh set of the medium tyres. A long way still to go in this race. Anything can happen, and it's crucial that these drivers do not make mistakes. And I have to say, for some of these drivers, they like racing around here. For me, it's one of my least favourite street circuits, apart from Baku, obviously. Baku's my worst, but Singapore, not too bad. I always keep changing my mind on what my favourite is. I am better on this game in Vietnam than Singapore in terms of keeping it clean and not being a lap behind, which is quite nice. So, but that's my personal opinions of street circuits. Let me know your thoughts on street circuits in the chat as well. Be interesting to hear your thoughts. As Pete, our race leader, goes into the pit lane and he goes onto a set of the hard tyres, and that will make it until the end of this race. So I wonder where he's going to come out ahead of his rivals then. So obviously Mata with the undercut. Obviously they will have to stop once, as well as Kyle. So Pete has come out in a very good position right now. In 5th position. Now I thought I saw rain on the halo, but that is just the lights. So I do apologise about that. But there we go. It just happens sometimes that you get just a tiny bit confused. So I wonder what other battles we've got potentially as well. Maybe Risky could close in a little bit on a potential, I would say, 9th place on, 8th place actually on Glock. So I wonder how that's going to turn out then for the rest. And we could be in for, honestly, we could be in for a very good scrap as they all close in very distinctively right now. Apologies for the slight technical difficulties. I am having some internet issues tonight. I think I had internet issues a lot for the past few days. But meanwhile, we got Kyle then that's got past Tony into 3rd position. Kyle once again doing very well as well on the 2-stop. Closing into Mata in the championship. And like we said, who knows what could happen around here. You know, there's plenty of chances for people to potentially get that overtake as well. So do watch out until the end of this race. Just do not watch another stream. Make sure you watch the rest of this stream, because believe me, this is a stream that you definitely do not want to miss. As we're almost halfway into this race so far. And you can see, I think, Glock round the back of Yuri. So I wonder if Yuri's mediums have decided to pretty much call it a day by the looks of things, from the way this is going. By the looks of things, it could be. I thought the crossover point between the mediums and the hards will be, I would say, maybe 2 laps later than what it is, but I was a bit confused as to why it's potentially earlier as well, but that's why I'm commentating and not the one. It happens with the drivers as they go side by side now between Glock and Yuri, heading past turn 14 into 15 into 16. Glock had the inside line there and he's up into 6th position. Great recovery drive so far after the damage he has sustained earlier on in the race. Pete, I believe, picks up his first 3-second time penalty, which will be added on till the end of this race. So we're pretty much halfway into this race with Red Matt leading, Matter in second, Carl third, Pete in 4th position, Brandon in 5th, Glock in 6th position, Yuri in 7th, Kev in 8th, Ryan Berry in 9th, Acorn in 10th position, Tony in 11th, and Iceman is in 12th, and Ryan in 13th, and Risky has serving, I believe, his 5-second stop go penalty. So he comes out of the pit lane, he goes. And he will be, I think he would have lost a chunk of time there into the pit lane and serving his stop go. Or did he actually get held up there potentially as well? I don't have a clue, but we will find out as the race goes on. I hope you guys have been enjoying this race so far. It's been an interesting one so far, but the race has potentially started to quieten down a little bit from a driver's perspective as well. Not much overtakes right now, unless if you're Acorn as well, who has just pitted. Tony is also just pitted as well. So I think the potential threat of rain is probably, I would say, I thought it was going to be on the cars, but I don't think it is from the way that they're driving at the moment. So that is a bit shocking, to say the least. So maybe the 2-stop is more prominent. Maybe they have listened to my thoughts and be like, you know what, Jess is right. But you never know. You never know what things could throw up at you. So, we've got an interesting battle between the two Red Boys. The Red Boys definitely needs a good showing this week. One of them did last week with Ryan Berry, actually. In Monza, the Tifosi track. And the Ferraris would have been, of course, Team Red as well. And I noticed that Ryan Berry's fuel... it's got an amber light currently at the moment. Yellow, I should say, on the dashboard, as you can see. Which means he needs to start saving fuel. The fuel load that he's got right now, he is not going to make it to the end of this race. So he's got to watch out a little bit. He definitely does, I have to say. So, you know... Ryan Berry just needs to be, I would say, on the lookout. All heading past the tunnel now, and I have to say, heading into the grandstands. This would be my favourite place to, I would say, watch the drivers on the track. I mean, it's it's just like you get the engine sounds in the tunnel as well, potentially too, but it just sounds really, really good, to say to tell you the truth. So lap 17 out of 31 so far. We've got side-by-side action with Brandon and Glot again. Glot making the comeback, which the hards are expected to go. Excuse me, my throat. I'm almost starting to lose my voice here. It's dearie me. The hards are expected to last until the end of this race. So Glot needs to be on his A game, and he is doing so right now. Even though he's going to find it hard to catch up to Pete right now. And I see rain. So the threat of rain, which I thought potentially was going to happen, is happened before our very eyes. So the ones that pitted on hard have probably regretted it. But Glock, I think, who pitted earlier on, he wasn't sure when the rain was going to come. So he did the right thing when he pitted on lap 1. So yeah, don't forget he was near the back as well after damage in lap 1. So to get a good recovery drive like that is pretty incredible. So Glock is gonna stay out for a little bit longer. Now the question is, when is it gonna be enough for the intermediate tyres? Now I've commentated on a Singapore race before where it took so long for the track to be like, right, you're going on intermediate tyres now. And then suddenly, after 2 laps later, it's like, right, monsoon conditions now. And the drivers were definitely not on the right tyres. And it just made the race very, very exciting. You never knew what the drivers were going to do next. It was just exhilarating, to tell you the truth. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to watch. So I wonder if we're going to get something similar here for the drivers. So, you know, this is going to play very well into the two-stop strategy's hands as well, because they were hoping for rain in Singapore, and guess what? You got it. And it was dry to wet in Belgium, and that's how Red Matt got his first win of the season. Could he, get my words right tonight. Could he be on for his second race victory in the wet conditions? No, Red Matt, I think it may be too early. I doubt it's enough for Inters, unless they're going to go on for slicks, which actually could be enough for slicks. For Inters, I don't know. But I don't know the weather forecast and what is good enough, to be honest. But I'm almost certain that the rain is coming down very hard. So I wonder if we will see the fall wets coming to fruition soon. Sooner than we thought. So Carl has stayed out. So let's watch Carl then as he heads past turn 5. It's a bit slippery, but he's not doing too bad. I think you just got to manage every tyre you got. And we got a safety car. Not a safety car, a VSC. So someone has binned it somewhere, which I'm not quite sure who has binned it, because everyone has pretty much spread themselves out across the track. So it is hard to tell who's where, to be honest. So a lot of people go on to into some drivers are not, as Kev has spun. Oh, his hard work undone, unfortunately. People are taking advantage of the VSC, and I think is that Glock losing his front wing? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, last week's race winner, I think I gave him a commentator's curse there, but he got past Kev, so you can tell that, yeah, it's, by the looks of things, it's Inters. So the likes of Kyle, the likes of Tony, the likes of Kev, they're going to struggle like crazy. Brandon is just like, get out of the way. You know the Inters are the best tyre, so Brandon gets past easily there. Past the Armco section of turn 12. Heading into the Anton Bridge turn 13 then. Blind apex actually, so you've got to really get your braking points right, especially in the wet conditions now. You have to brake slightly early because otherwise you're going to end up in a wall, and be prepared for a lot more drivers to potentially make mistakes. So Brandon could be on for a good result here. Same with Glock. I don't think, it's hard to tell if Glock's got damage or not. Or it might just be the graphics, I don't know. Actually, no, he's okay. I thought he did get damage. Unfortunately, just the game playing havoc for me. So Carl comes in then. Unfortunately, not ahead. So, wow. Matters got ahead of Red Matt. I'm not sure if it was in the pits or if it was in a battle that I did not see. And I do apologise for if I've missed that battle on track. But Matters now your race leader by 2.1 seconds. Red Matt could close the gap though. Tony's in the pits. Kev's got to go in, but his fortunes have got even worse right now, as he has got a 5-second stop go penalty for speeding the pit lane. And I don't think he's going to be pitting again, so that will be added to the end of his race time. And he has changed his front wing as well. Yuri comes in as well, the final of the medium runners to make their stops. So that really explains why quite a few people pitted on to the medium tyres for their first stops. So I believe everybody had to stop twice. Unless someone was able to get their mediums or hards for a bit longer, I doubt it. Yeah, everyone has done 2 stops, except you really like the Risky and Iceman, who's done 3. New Gun's also done 3. Yuri's done 3, and Gavin has done 4. But at least all of them are still in this race. For those of you that have just joined us, welcome along to VSL F1. We are still in the middle of the race, and rain has struck in Singapore. The heavens have opened, and we should be on for a very cracking finish. So do watch this space. Iceman has picked himself a 3-second time penalty. Almost everybody getting time penalties here today. So Tony gets past turn 14 now. Tony, one of the only drivers to not get a penalty, same with Acorn, Brandon, Kyle, Red Matt and Matter. So if there was a safety car to settle the order just a little bit, then it could really help the ones without the penalties, and the ones with penalties are going to be like, I shouldn't have got it. But for me, sometimes I usually like to get warnings near the end of the race when I know I'm not going to get a penalty, because I want to see what I can cut and what I could not cut. So I wondered, the drivers are testing out the track limits on the track later on. So, but we will see. And you can see it's quite windy there as well. It'll be interesting to know as well about the track temperature, but it's getting very slippery. And I have to say, out of all the tracks on this game, because I know a few other commentators have picked up on it as well, Singapore is one of the hardest to drive in the rain. I'm speaking from experience. Your back aches, your shoulder aches as well, but it is more slipperier than any other track. So it's important you've got to minimise your setup if it's a dry threat race to cater for both types of weather. And I wonder if that's why they weren't struggling at the start potentially as well. Maybe some of them thought that the rain was going to come near the end, which I think that's what it was programmed to come near the end. But I think the game as it is like, right, I'm gonna put the sprinklers on now, as it seems, which is what it's doing right now, and it's chucking it down very, very hard. So will it be 4 wets? I think it could. I'm going to get my prediction now. I know the drivers are going to hate me for this, because I know some drivers actually watch listen to my commentary whilst they race, which for some other drivers. How? Because when I race, I don't listen to the commentary whilst I race. It distracts me because, you know, there could be other things that happen and it may deter from my overall race in general. So, but anyway, I hope it races a little bit harder for the drivers. It challenges them as well, and again, lets them think outside the box. Should I stay out for Angels or maybe go on to full wets? Maybe too late once again. Yuri is being lapped by Mata. So everyone from 14 downwards has been lapped. And speaking of 14th, Yuri, who's now in 15th, has binned it in turn 14. So in Connaught, I think that's how you say the corner. And yeah, a few more people are starting to struggle now. So one of the conditions are getting a lot worse. But we will see, definitely the visibility is a lot worse as well, because you can hardly see Mata in the distance now. I mean, you want to get as much clear air as you possibly can. As Gavin unfortunately has retired. And there's a safety car. There is a safety car. So this is going to change things up massively. I did say the warm penalties were hoping there weren't going to be a safety car, but this is going to neutralise the field massively. And I think it looks like Gavin binned it. I'm just trying to remember my corner names ever so slightly. I think it's turn 12. No, actually, yeah, all the Singapore Slim by looks of things, he binned it. So, yeah. So, P has taken advantage and he's gone in for a fresh set of inters, which, to be fair, could help him in the long run towards the end when the tyres start to overheat a bit. So, it could work well. And Lee, oh no, Lee. The bad luck is definitely coming for Lee right now. As Lee unfortunately picked up a drive-through, which he can't serve under safety car. You have to serve after safety car, so it's going to be a tall order for him. I wonder if the front runners will be pitting to respond to Pete, or will they be wanting track position more than anything? That's what I'd like to know. So that will potentially be their final pit stops. And the ones that have got 5-second stop go penalties, the one that's got stop go penalties, I have to say, get rid of them. You can serve stop go penalties on this game in the safety car. I wonder why, but you can't do that in real life, but I guess that's a good thing. And if it gets removed in F1 2021, I'm sure quite a lot of people, including myself, because I league race on this game quite a lot now, I'll get quite annoyed. So yeah. Red Mat's in the pits. Why has Red Mat gone on to softs? Okay. That is interesting. It stopped raining. Ladies and gentlemen, it has stopped raining. Wow, I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to rain. I thought it was going to get worse, but I didn't think it was going to get better. It's drying up very quickly. Brandon's also in the pits too for the softs. So they think that it's going to be harder for everyone else to catch up, and they think it's going to dry up once the safety car comes in. If this race can't get any crazy enough, if Red Mat pulls the track's dry, this is ideal for Red Mat. I have to say this. I know Red Mat will get annoyed if I say this to him, but I think Red Mat's got this race win in the bag. He's got this in the bag. He's pitted at the right time. I thought it was bonkers. I was like, hang on, why is he on the softs? But the track's dry. So that is amazing. That is amazing. Kyle will have to pit as well. Will that mean the safety car will be going on for a little bit longer? I don't know. But we will see. Quite a few people on the move. Will Red Matt's tyres be optimal for the whole race? We'll have to wait and see, because Brandon has gone a little bit conservative. He's gone for the medium. So has Acorn. And Ryan as well. Risky, also another driver that's gone for the soft tyres. Niels has gone for the mediums. Tony has gone for the mediums as well. Kev's staying out. I literally do not know what's going on right now. Some people are staying out. Some people are... Oh my goodness. You're going to lose so much more time than staying out. But the track is still slippery. I won't know what to do if I was in those drivers' hands. But usually, if there is a safety car and it's so close to being dry, I would always pit. So the ones who still haven't pitted yet, they're going to be losing so much time when the safety car comes in. But you never know. Glock comes in as well for the mediums by the looks of things. No, the soft compounder tyres. Carl comes in as well. What tyres does he go on? Softs as well. Has Matter potentially made a big mistake here? Because I'm almost certain Red Matt and Glock are going to get him on the line. And I'm just looking at the gap in terms of the driver's standings too. Just hold on, just give me a second. So, Matt's on 190. Carl's on 163. So, if Carl could get ahead of Matter, he can close the gap massively. So, Matter cannot afford to make any mistakes. He just can't. He just can't. And Ryan Berry, I think, in the pits too. There's still a bit of spray in the pit lane as well. He goes on softs. And Ryan stays out. 60 on the mediums. How about Cav? Cav's got to go in, surely. He does go into the pit as New Gun's out the race. And where is he on track? Has he retired in the pit lane? No, he hasn't. He's probably binned it somewhere, which I can't really see. It's hard to tell, really, to be honest. Unless I could see what's going on in front. It might be turn 14. Or the blind apex of turn 30. I don't know. But we already have 2 drivers out this race already. And I believe the safety car, the light is still on. So I believe the safety car will still be in for another lap. Matt has got to respond. He's got to go in. And finally he realises that he maybe should have pitted when everyone else did. So he comes in and he's going to lose a chunk of time. And Red Matt is now in the lead this race. With Glock in second. Matter third. Now Carl jumps up to third as well. And I wonder if there's going to be any other crazy weatherness that's going to be thrown into the mix. Would it rain again? Oh my goodness. If it does rain again, then it's probably one of the most craziest races I've ever commentated on, where the weather just can't make up its mind. And thank you to those who have been still watching from the very beginning. As well, watching this battle unfold since the very start. And we've still got plenty more rounds to go of this championship. So make sure you do subscribe, like I said earlier, as well to the channel. Acorn, is it Peterson again? Let me check actually. Did they get damage? Pit stops, pit stop, pit stop, pit stops. There's a lot of pit stops, as you can see. So Pete's got a front wing change. Excuse me. So Pete's got a front wing change. Acorn has. So those two have to pit again. And that's unfortunate. That is a shame. So, surely the safety car has got to come in this lap now. Yeah, it is. The safety car is in this lap. So if you have not caught up, then it's too late, really. It is too late. So only top 5 are going to be in the same part of the track. So only really the top 5 are going to be in the battle for this. Everybody else is probably going to be screwed, I would say. But you never know. Anything can happen, like we said. But anyway, Red Mat is your de facto safety car. Not that long to go then until the end of this race. We still don't know who's going to come out on top. And Red Mat, as soon as Red Mat accelerates, the field can go, but they can't overtake until the start-finish line. Glock going side by side into turn 1. A beautiful restart from Glock. Not as good for Red Mat, but Glock has got a 3-second time penalty from it. So he's on 6 seconds as Carlos spun into turn 3. He got, I think he lost the traction a little bit there on the exit, and that did not help him in the slightest at the moment, which is allowing Iceman to unlap himself from Kyle. And that's allowing Matter to come back into this fight as well. Side by side then. Rid Risky going to left-hand side of turn 7. Heading into Memorial Corner. Now heading towards turn 8 now. We're seeing a train starting to emerge here as we head on to the final few laps. It's not over until it's over. And that's what Matter is trying to prove. Even though he was the latest driver from the leading pack to pit. He has caught up massively to this train, and he's going to prove to himself that he's still a big candidate to be winning this race. So if Brandon or Kyle make any sort of mistake here, it's game over. Now past turn 14 they go. I think Matter must be much quicker on pace, and I have a feeling a lot more drivers as well will potentially be going for the fastest lap point. As speaking of more penalties, Iceman and Risky picked up more penalties too. I won't get up the penalties now because I don't want to spoil things too much with you guys. So really, it's just the ones that with penalties, they've got to try and stretch the gap, but the ones without, they got to try and close in that gap. Red Mat, I believe, has got a penalty, 3 seconds. Risky's out of the race. Have we got another? No, we'll be too late for... Surely not. Surely not. Another safety car? Or is it a VSC? Oh my God, it's only a VSC. Jesus Christ. I was panicking there was going to be another safety car. But the biggest talking point of this lap is Red Mat has got a penalty. So Kyle, who had that spin earlier on, after the safety car, the first lap of the safety car, he's just a definition of don't give up, I have to say. Cole could still be winning this race. It shows how good he is on this game, but, you know, there's still Brandon and Matter that want to get that win too, without penalties too. Ryan Berry's going to jump up a few positions anyway, as Niels has got 18 seconds worth of penalties. Lee has picked himself a 3-second time penalty too. So, I said I wasn't going to get the penalties, but I want to check out Matt. So, apologies about that. So, let me just get the tyres back up again. Niels has got a drive-through. And since there's less than 3 laps to go, I guess he needs to serve it straight away then, does he? I'm not entirely sure. If I was him, I would serve it right away, because otherwise you will get DQ'd. Or will I don't even know how this works if you get a drive-through before the end of the race, but I don't know. So we're now lost 3 drivers. We've got, I believe, so 15 drivers left, and the top 12 don't forget score points. So Niels, like we said, is going to get a drive-through serve right now, but it's just gone from bad to worse for him, to be honest. he has gotten a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That will be added to the end of this race because I don't think he's going to pit again. So, bit of a shame for him. But let's watch the battle for potential win of this race. And I think potentially Red Matt can still win because Carlos needs to find 5 tenths on Red Matt, which is going to be impossible, I have to say. Glock, I think, will win. Let me just have a look at intervals, actually. Gap to leader. There we go. So, Carl's not going to win. I think Glock is going to win, almost certainly. So, Mata gets past Brandon up into 4th place. Can he get past Kyle? That's the crucial thing now. I wonder if some of the soft runners' tyres will start to degrade, and that would really help the medium runners. We did see that at the start of the race, potentially too. So you never know what could happen as Lee, I have to say, on Yuri spun in turn 21. I was trying to remember what my corners was, but turn 21 was where he binned it. And he's going to come in. Oh, Jesus. He's got to be careful, though. He needs to. Surely he can't cut the pit lane line and actually could get disqualified for blocking it, which will be a bit cruel, but Yuri comes in anyway. That was a nightmare for him, but at least he got the car into the pits. That was, that almost gave me a heart attack. Now, I'm wearing a Fitbit watch right now. My heart rate would have been, I would say, through the roof. But, you know, it happens. It happens. So we've got the penultimate lap. Well, we're going to be on the final lap very soon as well. Glock could be on course to be taking his 2nd win of the season. And who would have thought that it would have dried up this quickly after it was raining earlier? To be honest, I wouldn't have thought that as well. The race has been so unpredictable. And VSL was just proven that anything could happen. As Tony has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty, which is not what he needed, but it may not affect him in the long run anyway. So, we've seen so much drama, so much battles, but there's still a few more battles to come. Carl is in 3rd. But for how much longer, as Mata is really pushing now to get the final podium position. They're both not on penalties. Heading in to the old Singapore sling of turn 10, 11, and into turn 12. And I think both the cars are having very nice car control right now. Past 13, then yellow flag earlier on, like behind them, but it's not going to affect them too much. Can Mata send it around the inside? He's trying to. There's a little bit of contact there. Heading past turn 14. Heading into the king of 15 then. In towards turn 16. Matt had that nailed, but it was very close for both their races to end like that. But let's ignore them for the time being. Let's concentrate on our race winner. Glock nailed the final part of the race. He didn't know what could happen, but Glock wins the race. Red Matt will cross the line in 2nd, but who's going to come across the line in 3rd? We will see. I don't think Carl's going to find any more pace on Matt on the final corner, so I think. So Matt gets 2nd due to penalties. Red Matt 3rd, Kyle 4th, Brandon gets 5th, Ryan Berry gets 6th, and Ryan gets 7th. Akon gets 8th. We got Pete, what could have been for him, in 9th. And we have got Niels, who is going to be getting the top 10. I wonder who's going to get the fastest lap point. Niels getting 11, actually. There was a car park that was forming there as well. So I think we are just waiting. I think we're just waiting for a few people to cross the line. We're just waiting for Kev, I believe, and Yuri. I think that's what's happening right now. So we'll wonder who's going to get driver of the day. But what a crazy race in terms of weather and strategy. You never know what's going to happen. I had a strategy laid out in my head. It was going to be soft to hards. That's why I don't ask about the weather, people. Because this happens, ladies and gentlemen. But Glot takes its second win in a row. And he's very, very delighted. Don't forget, he's only raced for quite... This is his third race, I believe. So... 2 wins from 3 races is just incredible. So we're going to get your results then before we wrap up the stream. So, Glock is your race winner. Matter in second, Red Matt third, Carl fourth, Brandon in fifth, Ryan Berry sixth, M Ryan seventh, Akon in eighth, Pete in ninth, Tony in 10th. So Glock gets the extra 2 fastest lap points as well for getting fastest lap. Niels in 11th and Kev gets the final point. Iceman, Lee and Yuri are your finishers, as well as technically Risky, but your retirements are Newgarden and Gavin. So thank you guys so much for watching the Singapore Grand Prix. We go to another night race next week, the one which I'm very looking forward to. It is Monaco. 39 laps, well, 39 laps, one of the shortest laps on the calendar. I always like it, it's thrilling, and it's another unpredictable race, so I'm looking forward to it. So make sure you join us then, same time, 8 PM UK time, next week. I've been JessGame95. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the evening now because it was a very long race, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.